welcome to ForConstructionPros.com's 10 hottest stories of the week. I'm Larry Stewart with For Construction Pros.
And I'm Becky Schultz with Equipment Today. I'll lead off with our number 10 item. It's the Intelligent Hydraulic Systems Enhance Machine Connectivity and Performance article contributed by our colleague Sarah Jensen, who is the editor of OEM Off Highway. This article takes in-depth look at how the integration of electronics and software into hydraulic systems is creating smarter solutions that are laying the groundwork for further automation and connectivity in construction equipment. She looks at how these intelligent systems are not only providing real-time data on hydraulic performance, but they're helping to improve safety, productivity, and cost of operation through better control of various functions of the machine.
Yeah, just being able to integrate with the rest of the power systems on a vehicle really improves the performance of those systems, but they're really getting refined in how they can handle it. It's interesting. Number 9 on the list is Department of Interior investing on $1.6 billion in infrastructure improvements on public lands and tribal schools. So this historic infrastructure investment will create 19,000 jobs and contribute a couple of $1 billion to GDP. 2021 investment will address critical deferred maintenance projects and improve transportation and recreation infrastructure in national parks. It's going to work on national wildlife refuges and recreation areas, as well as the Bureau of Indian Education schools. Funding here is made possible by the newly created National Parks and Public Land Legacy Restoration Fund established by the 2020 Great American Outdoors Act. And that act provides up to $1.6 billion a year for 5 years for this work.
Number 8 on the list is Tier 4 final engines, considerations for fuel, depth, exhaust after treatment, and regeneration. This article is discussing the 2004 Environmental Protection Agency Act that initiated the final rule on Tier 4 emission standards with the objective of improving public health. But the regulation also impacted businesses that make, sell, service, and purchase diesel-powered equipment. This downloadable article looks at the impacts on these businesses and their operations, as well as provides some basic facts and information on Tier 4 final engines that affected businesses and their employees need to know.
All right. Number 7 on the list is the construction equipment industry shifting toward e-commerce. COVID-19 accelerated acceptance of online equipment sales and purchases, and users of Ritchie Brothers mobile app increased 90%, and online registration soared as all of its bidding moved online. The company set several records for auction registration, so more people are coming to the online auctions than to the combined online and in-person before that. U.S. buyers are purchasing 90% of the most recent sales dollar volume. So people are inspecting machines in person before the auction and then bidding online. Iron Planet reports, too, that it experienced its busiest summer in 2020. So the barriers to purchasing online seem to be coming down with used equipment.
Absolutely. And, this is a trend that started before the pandemic, but the pandemic certainly accelerated it. I know that similar growth has been seen on other platforms. I spoke with the CEO of Bidadoo, which is a partner of eBay, about their site last summer. And even at that point, they were seeing some tremendous growth in acceptance as buyers were pushed online because they just could not access the same types of live auction sites that they traditionally have done. So it's really kind of opened a door for e-commerce in the construction equipment sector. So number 6 on our list here this week is John Deere launches smart grade control for excavators. I sat in on a virtual press event that John Deere hosted this week, and they made several different technology-focused announcements at this event, including the availability of factory-installed and calibrated smart grade technology with 2D and 3D grade control options for its popular 210G LC and 350G LC excavators. This includes 4 different grade management options that you can choose from, plus upgrade kits to allow technology adoption at your own pace. New precision technology features are also included that are designed to further automate specific machine functions, providing improved grading efficiency, as well as helping to protect both the operator and the equipment. So some interesting new introductions for John Deere this week.
Yeah, that integrated grade controls feature really has spread throughout the earth-moving industry. Good to see it. Number 5 on the list, how Democrats could use reconciliation to pass an infrastructure bill through the Senate. The Senate parliamentarian has advised that a revised budget resolution can include reconciliation instructions, opening a path for Democrats to pass spending legislation like an infrastructure bill with no Republican support in the Senate by simple majority vote. And it's interesting because, in talking about this, Senate Minority Leader McConnell has cast doubt on Republican support, suggesting we ought to build what we can afford, not either whack the economy with major tax increases or run up the national debt even more. And I love that he adds even more there, because the Biden administration's Made in America tax plan would preserve more than 60% of the windfall created by 2017's Tax Cuts and Jobs Acts. According to various estimates by the Joint Committee on Taxation and the Congressional Budget Office, will add $1 to $2 trillion to the national debt over the next 4 years. Mitch was on board full time with that Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. The reconciliation process is authorized now to use for a second time. It's usually only used once a year, but the parliamentarian has advised that they can use it by bringing issues back up, especially issues related to spending and taxes with this infrastructure plan and the taxes to support it. Find out more about how reconciliation expedites consideration of tax, spending, and debt limit legislation in this story.
Moving into our top 4 item, looking at how Sandvik has acquired Allied Construction Products. Sandvik is a global player in the mining and construction industry, and it has announced its purchase of North American attachments supplier Allied Construction Products. Allied will undergo a rebranding during 2021 and will change its name to Sandvik Rock Processing Solutions North America, but it will continue to market all of its attachment products under the Rammer brand name. Eventually, it will be moving its Cleveland operations from a downtown location to a larger facility and will then support all of the former Allied and Sandvik models and customers through that facility. So interesting move on Sandvik's part.
Yeah, long-time name in the industry, Allied. It'd be interesting to find out what sort of resources Sandvik brings to them. Number 3 on the list is the $2 trillion infrastructure plan welcomed, but tax hikes to pay for it called dangerously misguided. The American Jobs Plan is intended to bolster the still lagging U.S. economy in light of the ongoing impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, improve transportation safety and efficiency, boost American business competitiveness, as well as push the country toward a greener future over the next 8-year period. The administration's accompanying Made in America tax plan proposes to pay for this $2 trillion investment over 15 years with an increase in the corporate tax rate equal to about 39% of the cut created by the 2017's Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Groups of corporations such as the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the Association of Equipment Manufacturers applaud the Biden administration's vision, and they're now expressing reservations about how it's paid for.
Absolutely. And in fact, U.S. Chamber of Commerce just came out with another statement this week that they feel like the tax increases on businesses could hurt economic growth and recovery and potentially cost more jobs. So there is definitely concern there, but no question that in any of their minds that some type of infrastructure investment is needed. The qualm is with how they plan to pay for it.
About stretching it out longer than 15 years, the pay for.
Right. Yeah. And that may end up happening. But again, it's anyone's guess at this point.
Sure.
So number 2 on the list is taking a look at how the change order process is holding back construction companies. Now, last December, I had a chance to speak with Cameron Page, who's the founder and CEO of X-Tracker on a Groundbreakers podcast. And he told us about how the change order process is holding back construction companies from being able to maintain the margins on construction projects. And now in this Q&A type of a piece, Cameron is sharing further insights on the ways that technology such as his company offers can help contractors better manage the change order communication process and potentially reduce the impacts of change orders on their bottom line. So interesting insights on his part.
A lot of churn in change orders. Interesting. Yeah. So number one on the list, the industry response to the Biden infrastructure plan. A lot of industry response to the plan with the details coming out. The American Jobs Plan is a comprehensive infrastructure package that'll create millions of good paying jobs and make American businesses more competitive. So Biden's proposing $621 billion total spending on the transportation sector alone, modernizing 20,000 miles of highways and roads, repairing 10,000 bridges, reducing bottlenecks at ports and airports, and by 2030, build a network of 500,000 electric vehicle chargers. It's also supporting researching in pavements and technologies, launching workforce development programs with an emphasis on supporting women and people of color in underserved communities. For context, the American Society of Civil Engineers, in giving America's infrastructure a C- grade, reported there's a $786 billion backlog of road and bridge capital needs, estimating it would cost $5.9 trillion over the next decade to bring those C- roads, bridges, airports to safe and sustainable level. So the numbers here are not that astronomical. They're in line with what we've been hearing for decades in terms of the American infrastructure needs. That is our list for the week. Thank you so much, Becky.
Thank you, Larry.
And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate you being here. We hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.